now have the honor of introducing this year's valedictorian, and the valedictorian speech is always a wonderful highlight of this great event. The valedictorian, as you will know, is chosen by the graduating class to address, who best exemplifies the law school experience and spirit, and is chosen to address the students. And as I'm sure you know, this year's recipient is Lwam Ghebrehariat. And the fantastic color of his tie, that not only is he a graduate now of this great law school, but he also is a working actor and a graduate of the National Theatre School. So again, just exemplifies how amazing our graduates are. And it probably won't surprise you either when you see how he is working the crowd, that he also is an incredible mooder and was a key member of the award-winning Bertha Wilson mooting team this year. So without any further ado, come on up.
Thank you, Mayo. I'll be saying Mayo quite a bit over the next 10 minutes. I actually wrote an introduction for the dean that she didn't read, and in the introduction I told her about all the C pluses that I got, about the jobs that I have attained over my lifetime. I haven't received any judicial clerkships, but I did clerk at 7-Eleven. But just before I got up here, I spilled water on my speech, so I'm just gonna wing it. But you know what? I've learned how to speak off the cuff for 10 minutes, and I learned that at this school. I've learned how to act like I know what I'm talking about, even when I don't. I've learned how to talk about a case, the ratio, the obiter, without knowing what ratio and obiter mean. But I had a really hard time putting this speech together. I reached out to my fellow classmates for advice, and you have given me a lot of great advice. One piece of advice that I received was to speak from the heart. So I sat down one day and I meditated, I closed my eyes and I took deep breaths, and I just listened for what my heart would say. And after a while I heard a voice, and the voice said, Lwam. This is your heart speaking. I have no idea what you should say. Good luck. I hope the people outside here can hear me. Can you wave if you can hear me? All right, that's great. A lot of things have happened to me this week that have reminded me of some really important things that I forget. First of all, I am lucky to be here. I am lucky to be in this part of the world, and we all are. My dad reminded me earlier this week that if I had been born in Eritrea, which is the country that my mom and dad left, they fled about 30 years ago, I would probably be doing some sort of forced labor right now, or I'd probably be imprisoned, like many of my cousins, in a country that has no freedom of association, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, a country whose main export right now is refugees. So I'm so lucky to be here, and I think we all are too. The other thing that I recalled this week, an important lesson, is how much I take for granted. I take my family for granted, I've taken my health for granted, but really I wouldn't be here without a family that supported and encouraged me. I wouldn't be here without my health, I wouldn't be here without friends, without a community, and I think we all are the same in that regard. So let me take a moment to give thanks to all of our families, our moms and dads, for being here, for pretending to laugh at our law jokes, for not getting mad when we didn't call you for weeks during the exams. And by the way, everyone, we do have a bar exam on Tuesday. We're not lying to you, we actually do. But most importantly, moms and dads, grandparents, aunts and uncles, I want to thank you all for passing on your good looks to us. That is incredible. And I look here and I see 300 amazingly good-looking people. But the thing that I wanted to say is, the country that my parents come from, Eritrea, doesn't have a university. The last university valedictorian to make a speech in that country made his speech in 2002, and in his speech he criticized the government. And right after the speech, he was arrested and held in a military prison in solitary confinement for 1 year, until he finally escaped, and he just recently did grad school in the United States. Now, I'm not going to be held in solitary confinement unless I say something that upsets my parents. But regardless, it's just another reminder of how lucky we are. I don't know if you remember this, Dad. I think you're here. Dad? You can hear me? Okay. But 12 years ago, when I was 17, you sat me down and you said, Lwam, you cannot have a girlfriend until you finish university. I don't know if you remember that, but I remember that. And I took it very seriously. And so here I am, 12 years later, June the 3rd, 2011. I finished university. I'm 29 years old, so I'm here to ask you, Dad, can I have a girlfriend? Yeah? I think some of you have my number already. It's on silent right now, but you can leave a voicemail. Another thing that I've been reminded of is that there are many things that they can't teach you in a classroom. We didn't have any courses on compassion or humility, patience or grace, community. But I think that we learned these things here. I think that we taught these things to each other as a class. And we taught these things to ourselves. We learned these things when we volunteered at Downtown Legal Services, at Advocates for Injured Workers, at Pro Bono, for the Laws Program, for the ASPA Clinic, for all of the amazing programs that we have right now, the International Human Rights Program. The other thing is that we are an intensely competitive group of people. I'm not here because I had the highest marks. I'm not here because I'm the smartest or the tallest. I'm probably here because I'm the baldest. I think that's the only thing I can think of. But no matter how competitive we are, we rose above the competition. We rose above the race for marks and for jobs, and we worked together. And I want to give a credit to all of you who served on the Students' Law Society, including my roommate, Karim Amlani, who later became the president, which means that I was the shadow president. And I also want to give a credit to those of you on the SLS who advocated for a financial aid program that ensures that our school is accessible to people of all backgrounds and financial means. Our school is the best law school in the country. It's also the most expensive law school in the country. It comes with a very high price tag, and I know some of you are worried about your student debt. Some of you maybe haven't been able to pay your tuition yet. Some of you are wondering, in 20 years, will I still be paying off my debt? Most of you are wondering, in 20 years, will I be bald like Lwam? But no matter what happens, if you remember one thing from my speech, I want you to remember the following. You have a JD. That's it. You can call yourself a doctor. You can call yourself an Esquire. You can put a JD behind your name. My friends, classmates, class of 2011, the fact that our school is so expensive doesn't only affect us. It affects the public, because law students who graduate with a lot of debt will be less likely to go out and to serve the poor, to serve the middle class, to serve the people who are desperate for legal services. And this is an issue that should be raised not only at the school, but at government, at the larger political level. Because this is a public institution, it's not a private institution. It's the University of Toronto, it's not the Scotiabank Faculty of Law, right? And I know that efforts have been made, and I applaud those efforts, and hopefully those will continue. Students, fellow graduates, the greatest exam you will ever write begins today, and it will last for the rest of your lives. I've spoken to the other 3 members of the Black Law Students Association, and we have decided to make you all honorary members of the Black Law Students Association. That's right. Not only do you have a JD, you have honorary membership in the Black Law Students Association. And by the way, this applies retroactively to the Right Honourable Paul Martin and to the Honourable Bill Graham, which means that Paul Martin was Canada's first black Prime Minister. Congratulations. I'm glad that joke went well. Seriously though, this school is a gateway to the middle class, and for some of us it's a gateway to the upper class. This school should be open. The gates of this school should be open to young people of all backgrounds. And those of you who worked in the laws program, where you worked and tutored and mentored high school students, have worked to show young people the path to success. And let's hope we can continue that work. Class of 2011, I'm just going to check to make sure that I went through all my jokes. I went through the black joke. I went through the that joke, the girlfriend joke, rose above the competition. This is the University of Toronto Faculty of Law, not the Scotiabank Faculty of Law. Okay, great. So I can conclude now. Farewell. I will miss you. I will miss living with you. I will miss getting in mental and physical shape with you. I will miss the way you ran marathons and half marathons. I will miss how you hosted and fed us with your delicious food and conversation. The way you taught us how to love and respect animals. The way you met and fell in love. The way we won trophies together and then filled them with beer. I will miss the way you went from being a hobo who slept on this lawn to a hero who argued a case in front of the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Canada. That's what I'm talking about. I will miss your love for film and music. I will miss the way you sang opera, the way you juggled and gave tours at the art gallery, the way you drove to the USA to help Obama, the way you flew to Egypt to watch and participate in a revolution. The way you told me that your greatest dream in life is to be a pirate. A cake pirate. The way you gave birth to our yearbook and brought our newspaper back to life. I will miss the learned band. I will miss the way you played soccer with Hollywood movie stars. I will miss the way you danced all night and sang karaoke. But most of all, most dearly of all, I will miss that Scotiabank line of credit. That sweet, sweet line of credit. We should have pooled that line of credit together. We should have bought a mansion in Rosedale. We could have had some great parties. Class of 2011, families, friends, thank you, congratulations, farewell, and let's move on to the next victory. Thank you.